Hey friends, this is Joseph Maynor. So coming to you from the West Coast out here. It's raining out here, like crazy raining. I was one of the first people to bring an umbrella out this morning, and there's a lot of people that were caught in the rain, and I'm like, oh man, that was me. Like I totally get that, right? But I was able to see the rain happen before I left my house, and so I was able to grab that umbrella. Man, that was a smart move. So what I want to do in this video, right, that sort of intro aside, is I want to share with you guys a life coaching model that I've developed with ChatGPT that includes kind of my details, but also fashions it in kind of a universal model. And in this instance, it's going to be the 7 chakras model. So this is just something that I've been working on for myself that I thought would be useful to share for you. I'm not saying you have to, who's to say? You may not even be interested in personal development or life coaching or whatever, but it's fascinating, man. It inspires me to build models. Like theory actually increases my inspiration and my enthusiasm to make changes, because I feel like I have an understanding of a way forward. See? And I think that fits for all of us, right? Like intellect does play a role, although it's often overstated. Especially when it's kind of framed as applying to everyone, that's where it becomes overstated. But as for you, intellect can be, a bypass, but it can also be something that gives you a feeling of being able to move into a new chapter in your life, and to see like where your weaknesses are too, so that you can focus your energy on your weaknesses, right? So I've been working with ChatGPT, with my own models, and I'm going to spare you kind of like reviewing my own stuff because I don't think it matters. So I'm going to give this, and I think it will, this is kind of like my ultimate life coaching model for myself. My ultimate life coaching model. Not the ultimate life coaching model, but my ultimate life coaching model. So I flipped the 7 chakras around. So the root is it's the highest, and the crown is the lowest, right? And I did this on purpose because I want to sort of be a kind of Derrida. I want to look at the issue of inversion of power, right? And so instead of thinking of the root as a given and the crown as something to be attained, I'm looking at it more like the crown is what's given and the root is something to be attained. So I'm flipping it around. I'm flipping things around to emphasize the feminine or the human over the masculine or the divine. And I'm doing that on purpose because I think a lot of people do need to focus on the root or the human. And I think this is oftentimes it's obscured by this feeling like we need to shoot to the top, but we don't even have the prerequisites for shooting to the top, right? So the way I'm going to present these, almost like a table of contents, is you have the root chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus chakra. Okay, those are the 3 feminine chakras. Then you have the heart chakra, which is kind of the bridge between the feminine chakras and the masculine chakras. Then you have the three masculine chakras, which are the throat, the third eye, and the crown. And so you have three, and one. Three feminine chakras, three masculine chakras, and one bridge. I call this the marriage between the human and the divine. So you can think of the three feminine chakras as the human chakras, and the three masculine chakras as the divine chakras. And then the heart chakra is like the meeting ground between the human and the divine. So for me, right, because, I don't know, you guys, if you've been exposed probably to my 10 nodes of life coaching model, my 10 sources of truth model, my 10 areas of fulfillment model. So all of that is going to be built into this 7 chakras model. And I worked with ChatGPT to get it to I did a lot of had a lot of conversations with ChatGPT about, where all of these concepts fit within this model. But then ultimately I made a decision about how to create it the way that I did. But ultimately it's still a model, right? It's not perfect. No model is perfect. But, models can be very inspiring too. Kind of like a vision board for intellectuals, right? A model is like a vision board for intellectuals. Like, I feel like vision board, it's kind of tailored toward people who are like visual, which is feminine, just kind of like looking at things and appreciating how things look. But the masculine is intellectual. And so, a vision board for the masculine can oftentimes be something like this, right? some theory that inspires the masculine to start a new chapter, or to finish a chapter, or to contemplate a chapter that doesn't even exist, right? For themselves, right? It gives you kind of like a motivation for seeing the bigger picture, which we all want, especially like tailored to ourselves, so that while we're taking action, we have a feeling like we're doing something that's bigger than ourselves, right? Where we want to do something because it's filling a hole in a kind of universal law that we've seen that applies to ourselves, right? I mean, that's the intellect. That's basically what the intellect is a kind of conceptual guidance. And so everybody does this, right? So, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you one, and I'm not saying I'm going to follow this necessarily, but I'm just saying that, like, putting this together was a labor of love for me, right? It was just so fun. So the root. So what is the root? So the first element of the root chakra is finances. And because I work in the legal profession, it's also going to include law and lessons learned regarding my own job. So in other words, finances, you work in the legal profession, you got to study law, and you also got to, integrate the lessons you've learned from the mistakes that you've made, right, in doing your job. So that all has to do with finances for me right now. The next, so that's number 1 for root, the root chakra. Number 2 for the root chakra is physical health. So this is like diet and exercise. Stop eating all the crap, right? Eat like veggies and healthy meat, healthy proteins, veggies, exercise, like deliberate exercise. Like, if you're not doing deliberate exercise, you're probably not doing exercise. If you're like, oh yeah, I walk from my house, from my front door to my car every morning, and I drive to work. Yeah, well, that's probably not exercise, right? I mean, exercise is like like you're making an intention to do the exercise. Diet, you have to train yourself to eat a lot more veggies and fiber and less sugar. Less cholesterol generally. I mean, if you eat meat, look at the cholesterol, right? It can be a problem. You might have high cholesterol. If you go to your doctor, they might find that you have high cholesterol. So be careful with cholesterol and sugar. With the exercise, like you got to work that in somehow. Whether you like walk up a hill, right? For 30 minutes or whatever. I mean, whatever it is, but exercise is not something that you get just like you weren't born with exercise. You know what I mean? It's like something that requires like a deliberate intention. And then number 3 is mental health. And this is where I include meditation, actually. I'm not big into the whole Kundalini thing, with the chakras model. You can already see that I've inverted the chakra. So I put the root at the top and the crown at the bottom. Just because I think people are top heavy, right? A lot of people are top heavy. Just like there's a lot of stupid people that are bottom heavy, there's a lot of stupid people that are top heavy. So I've intentionally inverted the chakras model to put the root at the top. Okay. And so remember, the first 3 chakras here, these are human. The human is being put at the top and the divine is being put at the bottom. And the heart is a mediator between the human and the divine, right in the middle. So the 3rd leg of the root chakra is mental health, right? So meditation. You know what I would recommend here? I know a lot of people make fun of this, but it's very simple. I'm going to tell you what to do here. Somebody who's meditated a lot. I've meditated all day long. I've talked to you guys about that in some of my earlier videos. For weeks on end. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you just do 1 hour of meditation, right after you wake up in the morning, okay? Right after you wake up in the morning, just do 1 hour of do nothing meditation every day. That's enough to make a significant difference. Right? Don't poo-poo 1 hour meditation, right? As somebody who's done 2 hours, 5 hours, all day long meditation, I can tell you 1 hour of meditation in the morning is much better than having no meditation, right? If you can do 1 hour of meditation every day when you wake up in the morning, that's superior to doing no meditation. And that's also superior to doing like 5 hours of meditation, not consistently, right? Like it's the consistency of doing 1 hour of meditation every day that's so beneficial regarding mental health. Okay, so moving on to the sacral chakra. So the first leg of the sacral chakra is happiness, fun, downtime. And for me, this is like chess and jazz trumpet. And going to Las Vegas, and traveling, hanging out with my friends, right? That's the first leg of the sacral chakra. The second leg of the sacral chakra is creating, right? Following your aesthetic, your style of play. So the sacral chakra is all about creation. And it's all about enjoyment of the human too. Enjoyment of life. And the third or the highest aspect of the human chakra is the solar plexus chakra. So if we're looking at the body, this is the highest level of the body. A lot of people confuse this with the highest level of the masculine, which is the crown chakra, but it's not. So this is, people who have, we'll go through the three levels. So the first level of the solar plexus chakra is action, embodiment, right? It's the highest level of the body or the human, right? The triad of the feminine chakras that are centered on the root but rise up to the solar plexus. So the solar plexus is the highest level of the human. So you can think of like stage orange, stage green, stage yellow, kind of here. And I don't want to mix spiral dynamics with this necessarily. But the first aspect of the solar plexus chakra is action, body, or embodiment. Notice how embodiment contains the word body. The second aspect is accountability, right? And your own self-help. This is the second aspect of the solar plexus. The solar plexus is about power and confidence and believing in yourself as a human. So the second leg of solar plexus is accountability, self-help. Accountability just means like taking responsibility for your own life and for how you influence other people. The third aspect of solar plexus is energy, confidence, self-esteem, and believing in yourself. This is the highest aspect of the human. Energy, confidence, self-esteem, believing in yourself. But notice how, this requires also the sacral and the root. The root is about, feeling grounded, feeling safe. The sacral is about tapping into your creativity, to your aesthetic. Being authentic to yourself, in a way, is the sacral. And then the solar plexus is about confidently going out into the world and taking those actions. Okay, that's the human, that's the body, the triad of the feminine chakras. So what I want to do is I want to take a break. I'm going to come back and we'll do the triad of the masculine chakras. And then finally, we'll talk about the heart chakra. So just give me 1 second. All right, friends, welcome back. So let's talk about the triad of the masculine chakras. So let's realize that the heart chakra is in the middle between the body and the mind. The heart chakra is the marriage. It's the link. So the body is a node, right? The mind is a node. But the heart is a link. It's marriage, right? It's the link between the nodes of the human and the divine. So none of these are superior to any of the others. The goal is to get all of these to work together, to get these 7 nodes or these 7 chakras to all be developed. This is why this is such a great model, because it's about becoming well-rounded. And I think that's ultimately what Kundalini is supposed to point to, is that you want to have all of these chakras like healthily opened. When you do that, that's when you become really awake, right? It's not just like the crown chakra that's about awakening. It's not the heart chakra necessarily, it's about awakening. It's not the root chakra that's necessarily about awakening. It's not the sacral chakra, the solar plexus chakra, the third eye chakra, the throat chakra. No, it's about having all of these in a network where the whole thing is healthy. Right? That's really like the deepest kind of awakening, right? So the first level masculine chakra is the throat chakra. And so for me, this is about knowledge, philosophy, language or lingo, the way that I organize my theory using the yin and yang model. my 10 sources of truth model, where I talk about the human feminine, the human masculine, the human marriage, the divine feminine, the divine masculine, the divine marriage, the marriage between the human and the divine, the integral, the transcendent, and then the marriage between the human and the transcendent, right? So this is all throat. The throat is like your expression, like your teachings. Everything you say, right? The first level masculine is the throat. And you're having the guts to say, right? The masculine is about balls, right? In a certain kind of a way, but like in more of like an abstract way. So the feminine is about balls too, right? The human is about balls, but it's about balls and like being like a strong human. So the solar plexus is about balls, right? I mean, think of anybody who has the balls, who takes a lot of action. They have a lot of accountability. They have a lot of energy, confidence, self-esteem. They believe in themselves. Sometimes this can get actually like overloaded, where it's like unhealthy. And ditto for the crown too. So the highest level feminine, or the solar plexus, sometimes can get out of control, where people become arrogant, egotistical, entitled. But that can also happen too at the highest level of the masculine, which is the crown, we'll talk about that. Not in the next one, but the one after the next one. So again, going back to the masculine, which is about mind, the trilogy here, the triad of the masculine chakras are the throat chakra, the third eye chakra, and the crown chakra. And these have to do with mind, which can be consciousness or intellect. And so the first is the throat. That's the first one of the masculine chakras. So this is about like your willingness to say something or to communicate something using the voice. So this is knowledge, philosophy, language, or lingo. However you decide to organize your theory. In my case, I use the masculine and the feminine, or yin and yang, as a convenient model to organize theory. And then I have my own 10 sources of truth model. For you, you're going to have your own, whatever your throat desires, right? Your throat is going to be very much an expression of you as a finite perspective, channeling the infinite. Okay. So the second masculine chakra is the third eye. So the third eye is intuition, insights, career life purpose. And for me, that includes like web development, videos, writings, in-person club. These kinds of things, go with my career life purpose. So your career life purpose is your third eye, because this is where like you're manifesting, you're becoming a conscious creator. You're not just like, this is where you kind of, at some point you're going to have to do a career change, right? Like, so it's like, you don't just like get a job and work that same job your whole life. Like the whole goal is to do a career change between like what you're doing now and what really fits you. So that's part of the third eye too, is knowing like who you are, like what you should listen to, your intuition, your insights. Then also working on your career life purpose too is a part of the third eye, because it's not something that you have to do, right? See, that's finances. That's, me working in the legal profession. I have to survive. I have to have a job. But your third eye is about what you want to do, what you want to manifest into the world. See? So that's the second level masculine. And the third level masculine is the crown chakra. So this is spirituality, what I call me sovereignty and trust in source without belief. This is the highest level masculine, just like the solar plexus chakra is the highest level feminine. Remember, the solar plexus chakra was about confidence, self-esteem, believing in yourself. The highest level masculine chakra is the crown chakra, which is about me sovereignty, trusting in source without belief. So we have a trilogy of human chakras, and we have a trilogy of divine chakras here. Now, the link between these two nodes or networks is the heart chakra. Now, the heart chakra is about the link. So the heart chakra is about relationships, love, marriage, other acceptance, other sovereignty, the sovereignty of the network itself as nodes in links. It's about humility. And it's about the relationship between the human and the divine. It's about the relationship between the body or the human, the three feminine chakras, the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus. And then it's about the mind, which are the three masculine chakras, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. And it's about these networks being in a marriage. That's the heart chakra. And so sometimes I think the heart chakra it's misunderstood. But in a certain kind of way, the heart chakra is the highest chakra. I mean, you can take any of these chakras and make them the highest chakra. But I think that the heart chakra is misunderstood. And to make it the highest chakra, in a way, I can see why people do this, but like they don't know how to explain it intellectually. They can't appeal to people who are more intellectual because they're too feminine, right? They don't know how to use the throat chakra to kind of explain why the heart chakra is so important. Because the heart chakra is the link between the human and the divine, between the body and the mind. And without an open heart, to a certain extent, you're going to live an awful life, right? It's just not, you're going to be like top heavy or bottom heavy. If you're bottom heavy, the highest you're going to get is the solar plexus, right? If you're top heavy, the highest you're going to get is the crown. But if you have the heart, right, then you have the link actually between the solar plexus and the crown. And not even. And so, some people, they have different vehicles for trying to convey the heart because the heart is a very high level. And so they're Christians in a way, that Christian mystics who they're tapping into the heart, but they're not sort of like integrating all the other chakras too, right? So, okay, friends. So I just wanted to give you guys like a big picture model here, but I think it's important to realize that none of these chakras are more important than any of the others. What you want to do though is you want to sort of understand them and become well-rounded in them. Okay, and then that's basically what's going to give you the highest level of, life coaching, self-help, is when all of these are healthy, so to speak. Okay, friends, hopefully this is a good video. It's a pretty cool model, right? I mean, it's not perfect. It's not even correct. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, it's fun, right? It's fun to do this as long as you're not spiritually bypassing, and you can kind of see where your holes are. And it gives you some kind of a guidance, like you have a map. And now you have, it's like a treasure map. And now you can go and try to find that treasure, whatever it is that you need to do that will actually benefit your self-help, your life coaching, So hopefully this was useful. Okay, friends, I'll talk to you soon. Take care.